So there's like the evolution of Naz. That's a good title.
Yeah, there you go. There's been quite an evolution. Actually, many evolutions of Naz, I would say. I joke that I'm Naz 2.0, but I think by now it's probably like 17.2 or something. Hi, I'm Naz. I am 32. I grew up in a very small town in Iowa, but I've been a Chicago resident for about 10 years now, and a Bodhi community member for about 2.5 of those 10. I have a social work degree, so I started out as a social worker, and then I just decided I wanted to change for a while, so I became a union electrician and spent 3.5 years doing that. I've since come back to social work. It's more where my world view is, and you'd be surprised though how cerebral being an electrician can be. There is a lot of thinking if you don't want to zap yourself or
That's what I assume the cerebral part.
Yeah, blow anything up.
Yeah.
But
it's a lot more technical than most people, I guess, would suspect, right?
Yes, definitely. I have a kind of an odd story of my transition into Bodhi. So my ex-partner's friend was a Bodhi member. They've since moved away, her and her partner. And I went to her for a tarot card reading, and she pulled a card, a love card. And it was kind of funny because I had actually taken someone to get our tarot cards read together as a date, and it was only maybe our third date. So we sort of pulled this awkward, like, you just pulled a love card. But she explained that like what was coming through for her was more of a sense of community, like a need for a sense of community, not necessarily a romantic love, which was like, at least that made it a little less awkward. So they invited me to come to Bodhi, her and her partner, and I had seen them posting things on Facebook the way that often people find out about Bodhi. And I said, sure, why not? So a couple weeks later I came, and that was 2.5 years ago. So I remember feeling just like overwhelmingly welcome. I've never been in a space, I think I could say with certainty, I've not been in a space where I felt so welcomed and so just like encouraged and loved, like encouraged to be who I am. And I think that's something that's like so amazing about Bodhi, and something that I try to like get across to anyone who I come into contact with.
Okay, so you had mentioned before that you have a collection of bow ties.
I do.
Okay, so how many do you have?
I have a collection of ties in general.
Oh,
okay. Some neckties, some bow ties. It's in the 40 to 50 range. Mm-hmm. Now, people at Bodhi probably see some more than others because I get in rotations where I'm like, ooh, I really like blues right now, like right. Hence blue. But like they're on deck. I enjoy the perceived dichotomy between being a very like dapper, like having a very dapper style, but also having very visible like tattoos and piercings. And I used to always have my hair different colors and things. I like that dichotomy because I think it makes people question their beliefs of what someone with tattoos and piercings and colored hair looks, or who they are. It questions their, like we were actually talking in Foundations the other day about stories people tell themselves about other people when they meet them and things, and it makes them question those stories.
Okay, and then I just used the pronoun, and I remember not asking about that.
So I use she, her, they, them pronouns. I identify with sort of a non-binary understanding of identity. Ever since I was a kid, I've never really conformed to what a woman was supposed to be, and I've never really understood what that meant. And if the term non-binary was more prevalent back then, I probably would have been one of those kids that identified that way, because I never understood what it meant to be a man or to be a woman. Like that wasn't
like where it's like a clear division, like either or type. Yeah.
Well, or just anything. I didn't understand what any of that really
concept,
meant.
okay.
So I was like, well, I don't like know what it feels like to feel like a woman, but I don't know what it feels like to feel like a man. I was like, I'm just
Is,
me.
yeah.
And so that's been my existence
I
ever
love that.
since.
The whole thing, I am.
Yeah.
That says it all, right?
Yeah.
Just
I mean, ever since
all
I was
these
a
labels.
kid, I'm just like, I just am. I'm me.